The 1990s were a golden age for toy collectors. Virtually everything was being licensed into toy and action figure form, and could be found in a multitude of toy shops beyond today's limited choices. Customers could stroll down an aisle and see the colorful packaging of their favorite television characters in now popularized 4 to 6 inch form, with price tags rating of $4.99 and sometimes 3 for $10. One little discussed toy company would offer bendable figures, seemingly beating all others in terms of value and overall catalog of properties. This is the history of Just Toys and the Bend-Ems line. Bend-Ems were a line of figures by Just Toys, on average standing between 4 and 5 inches tall, featuring a hard bendable rubber exterior and a metal wire interior to give the toy mobility. Nearly all Bend-Ems released have the character's name engraved on the back of the figure. Bend-Ems weren't exclusive to the usual toy shops and could be found in pharmacies and grocery stores, unlike most popular toys at the time. They were affordable, on average costing only $2.99. Bend-Ems would be one of the longest-lasting figure lines, covering tons of licenses, with products on the shelves from 1989 to 2001. And over 400 releases in the Bend-Ems style. I'd be willing to bet you still have one of these in your parents' basement. An apt comparison for today would be to Funko's Pop Vinyl, a line that covers a spectrum of entertainment licenses, and all the figures have the same look and feel. Just Toys, commonly misspelled like this, was founded by Alan Rigberg and Rose Evangelista in 1988, a married couple with an entrepreneurial spirit. Realizing many cartoon licenses were absent from toy stores, they found help in Roger Gimbel, a department store mogul who provided office and financial support. Signing licensing deals with Turner Properties, Marvel, and Disney, the company chose the name Twistables for the bendable figures before settling on Bend-Ems in 1990. The relationship with Disney proved to be the most fruitful, as the following year they went on to make Beauty and the Beast figures, helping boost their company revenue from $3 million in 1990 to $13.7 million in 1991. In fact, 41% of their sales in 91 were from the sale of Disney properties. By October of 1992, Just Toys went from being a privately held business to a publicly traded company. On their first day of trading, the stock price opened at $10.50 per share. Their initial public offering raised $13.6 million. They were able to raise a large amount of this money due to the faith that the Bend-Ems line would continue to be a success. In November of that year, Aladdin debuted in theaters with $20 million in its opening weekend. With this box office hit, Just Toys and other toy producers were making their pitch on the popular Disney license. And what analysts considered to be a major blow to Just Toys, the Aladdin figure license went to Mattel. But months later into '93, Just Toys was able to produce Aladdin products, but not Bend-Ems. Bubble Kids, a Magic Carpet, Stretch-Ems Genie, and Wind-Ems were made. But a large chunk of inventory went unsold in the marketplace, as kids preferred Mattel's toys. Interesting little fact, Just Toys donated all of their unsold Aladdin toys to children who lost their personal items in a Los Angeles earthquake in 1994. Let's take a brief intermission from the story to view some of the toy lines that Just Toys made, starting with the year they began, 1989. As mentioned, this was an era when they were still called Twistables and bendable figures. $1990. It was around this time they changed from bendable figure and Twistables on the packaging to the now infamous Bend-Em name, Marvel, DuckTales, WCW, and Little Mermaid all received updated Bend-Em blister cards. 1991 saw more Bend-Ems for Disney. Battletoads, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Just Cool Ernie from Harry and the Hendersons, Land of the Lost, X-Men, NFL, Bingo, and Search for Sam. Zen Intergalactic Ninja was made, but they weren't actually Bend-Ems. Here's some, if not all of the releases from 1992. Jungle Book Bend-Ems are by far the hardest to come by these days. 1993. By 1993, retail peg space for Star Wars was in a galaxy far, far away. This made sense as there wasn't a new live-action Star Wars movie since the early 80s. Betting on nostalgia, Just Toys would create Star Wars Bend-Ems, debuting with these for Series 1. Almost all of these would be released again with Topps trading cards. Series 2 would release in 1994 with new releases coming even with Kenner's Power of the Force line on the shelves. Just Toys would release the same figures again in box sets, celebrating different parts of Star Wars canon. A short-lived sister line to the Bend-Ems, Wind-Ems, would debut in 1993, showing off a windable feature that made the toys move. Duh. Here's all the Wind-Ems they made before discontinuing the line. Another sister line that didn't pick up steam were the Finger Top-Ems, from Pocahontas and The Lion King. In 1994, Just Toys kept the engine running and acquired the World Wrestling Federation license, just as Hasbro was ending its run with the company. WWF Bend-Ems made their debut at a convention event during WrestleMania 10 weekend, with then popular stars Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Diesel, Lex Luger, and Doink the Clown. Other Bend-Ems franchises released during this year included Bonkers, The Muppets, Mickey's Stuff for Kids, Lassie, Pagemaster, Pinky and the Brain, and the Animaniacs. Throughout Just Toys' first few years in business, they would develop other products aside from Bend-Ems.
If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked the cake in my microbake, in my microbake.
It's the new microbake cake maker. Make the mix.
Diversifying for their future, they hired the designer for the original Easy Bake Oven to create the microbake cake set. Investing over $4 million into its launch, the oven made its way to retail in August of 1994, selling for around $20. But after the oven made its debut, customers began complaining about the product overheating. Effective December 20th, 1994, just days before Christmas, the company voluntarily recalled 168,000 baking sets and offered to replace them to customers free of charge. The microbake cake oven set ended up costing Just Toys over $16 million. And as a result, the founders, Alan Rikberg and Rosie Evangelista, were made the scapegoats and were relieved of their duties within the company. Many of the licenses Just Toys had acquired were terminated or not renewed due to the change in leadership. 1995 saw a continuation of WWF Bend-Ems, Youngblood, Disney's Tall Tale, and Mickey's Stuff for Kids. In 1996, the only releases included 2 new series of WWF Bend-Ems. By 1997, Just Toys shed all remaining Bend-Em licenses except for the WWF. WWF was gaining heavy steam with television presence in what started what is now known as the Attitude Era. After 3 years of the WWF roster under its belt, Just Toys company sales reached an all-time high in 1997 at $23.2 million. But that would be the end of the good news for the Bend-Em company. With a change of focus under its new leadership, Just Toys continued developing and maintaining its non-Bend-Em brands. It had previously created a new brand of Louisville Slugger bats, Spalding, and Nerf-style footballs called Ultra Pass. So similar that Odds On, Nerf's parent company, launched a lawsuit. Though it was settled in 1997 and Just Toys was found not liable, the company found itself in a position unable to focus on growth. In 1989, its website still read under construction. Its stock price began a downward trend. In 1999, Just Toys dropped a press release stating World Skating League's Roller Jam figures were on the way and would be revealed at Toy Fair 2000. The products would never see the light of day at Toy Fair or anywhere else. That year, Just Toys would release its last non-wrestling related Bend-Em figure line, Rocky and Bullwinkle, based on the movie released the same year. Collectors were given normal-sized Bend-Ems, as well as micro Bend-Ems and keychains. Unfortunately, the line was not a success, and most inventory could be found on clearance. By March 2001, Just Toys was unable to pay vendors and creditors, and announced they were looking to liquidate remaining assets. Only essential employees remained, and they were focused on fulfilling orders they could from existing inventory. As for Bend-Ems, the only existing inventory that remained were Rocky and Bullwinkle and WWF, which had new releases until 2000. Any sales of remaining inventory would not be enough to pay their debts, and certainly not enough to keep the corporation afloat. In filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the company listed only $57,000 of assets, but $2.7 million in debts. And that was it for the Bend-Ems. Just Toys' legacy will live on today, most notably for the depth of the Disney and WWF rosters they covered, and for giving Star Wars collectors toys at a time when no other company would. Just Toys was ahead of the curve with their aggressive licensing with hot toy properties. Keeping a small operation allowed for a shorter time frame from the time the license was signed to the time the figure was on the shelf. When they had to answer to shareholders, the company began to grow too quickly. The focus became more on the growth of the investor value rather than the long-term profitability of the company. Alan Rikberg, one of the founders of Just Toys, applied to trademark Bend-Ems in June 2018. In working with the company Sunny Days, The two have created more Bend-Ems, complete with similar style packaging, size, and that familiar Bend-Ems branding. Hey, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into Bend-Ems. It took about 2 years to acquire everything for this video. You can support us by subscribing for more action figure history, grab a deal from us on eBay, or check out our figure database over at figurecollections.com, where you can find a checklist, pictures, and more information about everything Bend-Ems you saw today.